All right, let's get things going with our Ageless Energy podcast. Welcome. Let me say, our demographic is women 40 plus. We're looking to gain energy, burn body fat, and balance hormones. Sometimes we have some outliers. We have some men that jump in. Everybody's welcome, but that's who we usually work with. So I'm doing this a little bit differently. It was kind of a last minute decision. Well, it wasn't, it was kind of last minute. Yeah, it was. It was a last minute decision to jump on Zoom instead of our regular Facebook page. Now, some of you may be listening as a podcast, as audio only, which is perfectly fine. I actually really enjoy listening to audio podcasts only because I could be driving or I could be running. And I feel like if I'm sitting in front of my computer, in most cases, I'm doing something. So audio only is nice to listen to while you're multitasking, which isn't always the best idea or best choice. But at any rate, I'm excited. Today we're kicking off a 14-day challenge, and I gotta tell you, it's been chaos. It's been absolute chaos, good chaos in a good way, because what we decided to do is we launched a new branch of our VIP package, of our VIP map membership. So our regular membership is premium, and that's one-on-one coaching. The VIP is more group coaching, a little bit less intensive, less like one-on-one. Some people don't need the direct one-on-one stuff. Some people like the group aspect, and then it's more economical, to be 100% transparent, because there's less time from us being taken one-on-one. So I'm going to talk about our 14-day challenge kicking off here. And then, so that's different. That's going to be different. I don't want to confuse you. So that's pretty much over. We're wrapping up the final early bird people that were kind of interested in signing up. We had a bunch of signups. Super grateful for our team. We recently brought on Brienne on board to help with support. She's been with us for a long time. She's been through our different programs. She went through the MAT program, saw amazing results, and she wanted to carry on and work with us. And we're super grateful to have her on board. We have Laura that takes our onboarding calls, and she's been busy for the last couple of weeks, booking calls and taking calls and getting people settled in. And then Nick's amazing. That's our team. We have a small team, but we are mighty, and we can accomplish a lot. We work hard and fast and make quick decisions, and I think that's how we've been able to grow to the place we're at in such a short time from when we kind of started changing things around a bit. And we're always adjusting and growing, and we're making more adjustments, and we're continuing to grow in different ways. So definitely couldn't do that without a team, and incredible members and support from our community and those that are interested in trying new things from what we do. So at any rate, so that was the master class where we launched that. So if you want that, just comment. And if you haven't watched that, you can send that. I think that went really well. A lot of good feedback, a lot of good information. And then from there, we talked about our launch just kind of at the end. So that's what's going on there. And I just have this comments coming in. So I'll address comments after. If you guys have comments, we'll definitely come back, and we'll definitely come back and make sure that we get those answered for you. Okay. So when it comes to the 14-day challenge, this is a little bit different. So I'm just going to, I'm not sure if Nick's going to edit this out when we go on as a podcast, but we're going to have people jumping in here. And so I'm going to be slightly interrupted as I let them come in. So that was the master class and early bird launch, right? This is going to be a little bit different. We're going to kick off a 14-day challenge. I see a couple people in here. My mom jumped in here and Sheila jumped in here. Good morning, you guys. This was I was just telling our camera, this was a last minute decision to jump on Zoom. I think most people are used to just jumping on the Facebook group for live. So at any rate, I'm going to carry on and we'll be able to share this replay afterwards. Last minute decisions. Rarely, I have this like a bit of a complex with making last minute decisions. Like those of you that know Nick, he does a lot of work for us on the back end, and he does so much for us. So I'm super grateful. But he builds out like workflows, like automation, like workflows and processes, which are amazing because I have no idea how to do them. But I don't know. He doesn't say anything. He's awesome. He doesn't complain, but I always change things at the last minute. So we actually send out, those of you, if you're not on our text list, you can be on our text list, and we send reminders of, just for example, we try not to be spammy, of course, but we have MCT oil. That was our featured product this month. And we had that discounted. So we send out a text message that says, last chance to grab your discounted MCT oil if you're interested. Then it says join us on the Facebook group for a live. And then last minute I'm like, I don't want to go live. I want to do Zoom this because I want to share my screen. So I'm working on the ability to share through Facebook. Facebook makes some changes, and I have never learned how to do that yet, which is another process. So at any rate, I always change things last minute, and he's pretty awesome. So I don't really have to worry about him getting upset, but I'm sure it's a bit frustrating when he builds something out and then I change it. Hey, Rhonda.
Morning.
Good morning. So I'm not okay. At any rate, I was talking about the 14-day challenge and changing things at the last minute. So okay, sorry. Let me get back on track. Let me focus. So I'm going to share my screen and show you guys. And then we're also working on a new platform, Skool. Like I've showed that a couple times. And we have our new VIP members that are working with that as well. And so far the feedback has been great. So super excited about that. And from there, if you guys are interested in a 14-day challenge, what we're going to do is put together workouts, and we're going to put together meal plans, and then we're going to put together support. So we'll give you an opportunity to give that a shot. Some people have tried it before. Some people, they'll be brand new, but I feel like this is a good time for a reset. Like we used to do detoxes in September, and I feel like I don't want to say we dropped the ball. We were super busy with our VIP launch. So there's no way we could have done two. And I feel like that was more important because we've been doing detoxes for years. But we've had a handful of our members reach out and say, hey, I would like the detox. I'd like the detox menu. And I'm like, what happened this summer? We know summer's a tough time, and a lot of people struggle to stay on track. But at any rate, we usually do a sugar detox at this time because we need a reset and we need to refresh and get things kicked off and started. But so that's why we decided to launch in September, is to give another option or something different. So we're hoping that this will offer some motivation, some inspiration for you guys to get back on track and have some support. A lot of times people don't have support, or they're not really sure where to go or where to start. And it's definitely a challenge, especially with all the barbecues and the drinks and the marshmallows. So no judgment, but that's just how it goes. Summer. So we prepped our members going into summer. That's all we talked about, was doing your best to stay on track and not gaining a bunch of weight before or during summer, because when September hits, that's our busiest time. And a lot of people have to start all over. So that's definitely a challenge. So all like are always starting over. I gotta tell you the story that Dorothy just told me. She was running, and someone came up to her and said, or she wasn't running. She usually runs, and she was doing a workout instead. And someone came up to her and said, "Oh my God," this made her day. They said, "Oh my gosh, like you're in really good shape, and you run so well." And she's like, "Oh, like of course, everyone likes a compliment." But Dorothy was never like she was never an athlete, and she didn't grow up on any sports teams and didn't really do much. She kind of dabbled in running a bit, and then she got into workouts a little bit, and then she got into more running. So she didn't have that, I suppose, history of whether it's running or playing on athletic teams. So it took her a while. So when she first started running, she started running a little bit more. And this is so funny. She said she thought she had asthma. She said, I think I have. She's like, I think I like something wrong with my lung. She's like, I think there's something wrong with my lungs. I think I have asthma. Should I go see a doctor? And I was like, you're out of shape. And like this is a true story. Like she could hardly run 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
And that's no judgment for anyone else. I'm just saying like that's where she started. And everyone thinks like whether that because we run a fitness business or because she's doing marathons, she's doing something amazing. Like right now, I don't even know, I should know, but she's run a race for almost a year and a half. And for the last probably 6 months, she's ran a half marathon, which is absolutely amazing. And everyone thinks like that came naturally, right? And these things don't come naturally. It's the same thing with working out. If you guys start working out, and here's the thing is like that's what she used to do. And we were actually just talking about this morning, which is nice that I can share that with you now. But she would run in the summertime. That was the only time that she was really interested in running because it was nice out. So she'd only run in the summertime. Then in the wintertime, she wouldn't run. And then she'd have to start all over again. She would still do resistance training and stuff, but then she had to start all over again. And then she'd feel out of shape or she wasn't a good runner, etc. This went on for a number of years. And then she started doing runs in the winter. When before she had the mindset of, I'm not doing any winter runs, it's too cold out. So it was just a slow progress. And then you see someone looking at her and they're like, oh my gosh, you're in good shape. You're such a great runner. And she's like, well, this took years. And again, it's the same thing with working out. A lot of times we see people that come to us that it's the same way. Like they kind of start a little bit and then they get into a rhythm, then they fall off. Then like whatever, like there's no judgment. Life gets in the way. We come up with a number of excuses for ourselves and then we start again. So I feel like and that's why I don't like the 21-day fix. That's not us. I honestly, I don't even like 6 months type of programs. It's just too short. Like we see incredible results from our clients, usually like early on for sure, but then usually from month 3 to 6. That's when that you really hit mainstream. But you have the limiting mindset of people that are like, oh, I'm only going to sign up for 6 months. So then they like mentally have a block, and then they're like, I'm going to go off and do it on my own. These are air quotes if you're just listening, and then the same process happens without having that extra support and all the tools that make it so much easier to stay on track. So at any rate, it was the same thing with Dorothy in starting out. But okay, let me tell you another story. Maybe hopefully she doesn't listen to this. No, I'm just kidding. Let me say hi real quick. If you guys have comments below, you're more than welcome. But we have Colleen just jumped on board with our VIP. So did Rhonda, and Sharon's in here. And Teresa has seen amazing results. Congrats, Teresa. You're looking, and I heard you're feeling fantastic. And then we got Sheila's in here, and Sharon's one of our premium members. And then my mom's there too. Good morning, Mom. How are you?
Good morning.
So when Dorothy started doing healthy baking, she didn't always bake. She wasn't always a baker, but like she bakes and cooks amazing now. But when she started, she would try a healthy recipe, and then the whole day would, if it didn't turn out, the whole day would be ruined. So it was so funny. And then she started making, this was a number of years, and then she started making sourdough bread, or she was like, I'm going to make some sourdough bread. And I was like, I don't want the whole day to be ruined if your sourdough doesn't work out. But I don't know how she did it, because I haven't done it myself, but I heard sourdough is particularly challenging to make work, but she makes it work almost every time. So we're very fortunate with that. But then that goes back to my point of, it takes time to get good at something. And in most cases, I don't feel like we put in that time to get good at anything. And I did a group coaching call with in our private membership. And I talked about embracing the suck. And those of you that are new members, actually, you should go back and watch that, or that's in our group. You watched that, Rhonda?
I just did.
Oh, awesome. Okay. It's a really good one. And it's about, so when we start working with clients, we talk about particularly like meal prepping. So you have someone that new comes in and they try meal prep, they haven't really meal prepped, or they've tried it a couple of times. This isn't everyone. This is just a generalization, but then they start to meal prep, or they try to start preparing food, and they're like, I'm terrible at this. And then they just quit and give up. They're just like, not for me. And I'm like, of course, you've tried 3 times. But it's the same thing we hear with workouts. Like, we hear people that are like, I'm not really good at workouts. I'm not that mobile. They're really challenging for me. And I'm like, well, how long have you been working out? And they're like, 2 weeks. This actually happened to me when I was a personal trainer at a gym. I was working with someone, and they lost they lost a couple pounds, and it was a short amount of time. It was like 2 or 3 weeks. And they were upset. They're like, Drew, I've been putting in all this work. I've been showing up at the gym, and then I've only lost a few pounds. And I'm like, how long have you been working on gaining weight before you came to me? And she's like, I don't know, 20 years. And I was like, so 3 weeks later, you expect to see all the results that you're hoping for after the last 20 years of nothing? And she's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll wait a little bit longer. But that's the thing, like, for us, we want that instant gratification, and we want to see instant results. There's no other way about it. And I try to teach and preach and help you guys understand that nothing short term, like nothing that comes short term is going to last. So if you want something to last, and that's what we hear, like at least from this age group of women around 40 plus, is that they've tried a number of diet types of programs, and they've tried like it seems like everyone's tried Weight Watchers. Everyone's tried like these, whether it's the new, like a bit newer is keto, right? But like those types of things, they're really hard. Like I don't think they're meant for long term, to be honest with you. So then people see the short term results, and then because it's not sustainable, or because there's no foundation built, they gain everything back that they have lost. And I feel like that's a challenge in our world of health and wellness. Like in general, it's not like we don't have anyone teaching us the longevity of being healthy and all the benefits that come along with it, which is completely different. Like I could teach you guys, like we could have a program like everyone else. I could easily teach people how to lose a bunch of weight in 6 weeks. It's not hard, and gain it all back. Like you go into put your body in starvation mode, you calorie deplete. A couple weeks before you drink, you overhydrate, and then you dehydrate a week before. We've done that. Like that's called a fitness competition. And that is not meant, like that is meant for people to walk on stage and look great for either one day or a few hours. But like we as general society, we're like, okay, I could do that. Like we look at people at fitness magazines and have no idea what they put their bodies through. And they like usually if it's not like for a fitness magazine, if it's not photoshopped, they at the very least have put their body through a large amount of stress to look like that, and they don't walk around like that. It's very rare. So, but we don't see that, and we don't know that. Like we don't see that that's a short-term actions that they've taken to have a short-term result, and then after their photo shoot, they probably walk around 5 or 10 pounds, at least 5 pounds, like probably 10 pounds heavier. But you see that all the time, like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna go on a full-on rant here because I did that about keto, carnivore, and Ozempic not too long ago. But Like I see these posts about gummies coming up every once in a while, and it drives me bonkers. Like it is such a lie. And like, so people say, like, they'll put up a post that says, lost 20 pounds on gummies. Anyone else interested? And I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, that's a lie. If that's all you did and that's all anyone would have to do to drop 20 pounds, then everyone would be eating gummies. And the thing is like posting for a friend, or like, it just drives me crazy because it it ruins the perspective of the whole wellness industry. So then other people come to me, just for example, and we actually care about our clients and we actually want you to see long-term results. And but the average person will lump us into everyone else. They're like, oh, you sell magnesium? I tried gummies, probably the same thing. Or they're like, oh, workouts and nutrition. Yeah, I tried keto. It's the same. Like, didn't work for me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not even close. But they don't know. And I feel like those types of comments or those types of posts, they water down and skew the whole mindset of our industry. And I just feel like it shouldn't be like we shouldn't be posting that kind of stuff, in my opinion. Okay. Oh, I had a comment here. What is the comment? Rhonda says, yes, I get that because I was in that vote. I did a 14-day challenge and then was thinking I can't afford it. Then I thought I would try the keto plan. It didn't work. Then this VIB program came up and I jumped on because I know Drew and Dorothy are great coaches. Thankful for this VIP program. You're welcome, Rhonda. We're excited to have you in and work with you as well. Looks like, like the challenge, one of the biggest challenges we see is the self-sabotage aspect of when we are either working with people or people are thinking about working with us. And it's a real thing. Like I crushed this live group coaching call for our team. So I talked about how I was accepted. I never applied. Like I've never applied for anything like this before because I'm like, it's like a big group, big name people. I've been following them for a while. I'm like super ultra successful. And they said, we'll take 100 people. There's thousands of people that applied. And I was like what? Like they wanted a video. There was like a 20 question questionnaire. Like, and I'm like, what are the chances? So, like whatever, I'll just do it. And I ended up getting accepted. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did I get picked? But that's the thing, like that's like self-doubt and then that self-sabotage. So I was like, at first I was like, oh, maybe I'll participate. And then I like shook my head a little bit and I'm like, participate? I'm in this to win it. Like I'm going like full tilt. So life has been extra crazy because that only started a week ago, and I want to do amazing. But the self-sabotage creeps into my mind as well. It's like, oh, I'll just participate. Like that's nonsense. What do you mean just participate? That's anyone. If you're joining a program, you shouldn't just be happy to participate. Like that's the very least. Like that's the lowest level. Like we need to expect more of ourselves. Like why can't you come into a program and crush it? Like come into a program and say, I'm going to be the best member, client possible. I'm going to contribute. I'm going to do all the things. I'm not going to repeat that because I know some of you watched that, but what I'm talking about is the self-sabotage of so many things that go on in our mind of I'm not good enough. I can't afford it. I don't have time. I get this one. Oh, I've done something similar. Doesn't work. Or I've tried everything. And I'm like, well, you haven't tried us. So for example, in a different group, in a different group, very similar. I went to this mastermind, all online coaches. There's 100 of us. I went to Nashville. It was a millionaire mastermind, super successful online fitness business coaches. And every single one of them offered something different. Everyone, like if you look inside, on the surface level, it's nutrition, fitness, and support. But that's just surface level. That's those that don't really understand how many levels there are to fitness. Like people have different, like coaching have different philosophies. They have different mindset. They have different deliverables, different ways of coaching, different types of workouts, different nutrition plans. And like there were so many, I was blown away. And I know that there's lots. So then we have people that come and they're like, oh, I've tried that before, it doesn't work. Or I've done, and I'm just like it's really hard to explain to someone like that's a form of self-sabotage, just to be like, not gonna work for me. I've tried it. So for you to understand that there there are ways to get around and work through your self-sabotage. Just like for me, it was like a different mindset. I was like, had to kind of shake my head. First of all, I didn't feel like we're worthy, right? I'm like, these guys are ultra successful, and I dreamed about being in a world like this. This is like a goal for me. These guys are making, and it's not just about finances. They've put in a lot of time and effort and work, and there's these people, like, it's amazing to me how hard they work and how much they care about their clients. These guys are making $100,000 to $1 million a month, and like for a lot of people, that's like even a hard concept to, and it's even a hard concept to like. So for me, I was like, why do I deserve to be in this room? And then and that's just like self-doubt and self-sabotage, right? So you have to push that aside and be like, I've been doing this for over 10 years and I've been grinding it out. It's not like I was given this as a silver spoon, or I was given anything like in my lap. So you have to rationalize, like, you deserve to be fit, healthy, and happy. Like so many people have found that in their life. Why don't you deserve that? And that's just scratching the surface level. There's a number of different levels for you to work through. But again, when it comes to that self-sabotage, we see, like I just had a conversation with one of our one-on-one clients, of being able to see results and then reverting back. And that's a vicious cycle that a lot of us go through that we have to break. And it's the actions, right? It's the action steps that we take that help us see results. And then it's the action steps we take or don't take that have us revert back to those results that we found in the first place. So that's the challenge of working through those obstacles that continue to reoccur. Like we're very consistent in a lot of things, right? Like a lot of people, they're very consistent in sitting, like getting home from work, being exhausted, maybe cracking open a drink, and then scrolling like on their phone or watching Netflix for the rest of the night. Like that's consistency, right? There's nothing, I'm not saying, like, I don't have zero judgment. I don't have anything wrong with that. That's not how I want to live. But you have to look at someone that wants to live a healthier lifestyle and be more active. So instead of being exhausted after work, you would nutritionize your body differently. So you would have fuel and energy, but you would also have a different activity in the evening, right? So maybe it's going for a walk, or maybe that's when your workout is, or maybe maybe you've joined some type of healthier community not healthier community, but like active type of community of a hobby that interests you, right? So we have to understand that in most cases, it's a lack of action that we're taking to see results. So we need to do better or change those actions if we want different results. And that's the biggest thing for me. Like for me, it was super eye-opening, because you gotta take your own advice, right? It's easy to give advice, but can you take advice? A lot of people can't take advice, and those types of people, they're not really coachable. They're not ready to be coached. And I'll be 100% transparent. I've never liked coach. I never really liked coaches. You know what I'm talking about, Mom? I've never really liked authoritative type of figures, because I don't like it when people tell me what to do. A lot of people are in that boat, but for years, didn't find coaching. And I would say, oh, I'll just figure it out myself. And maybe probably 8 years, I struggled to figure it out myself. And like, it's the same thing in the fitness industry, right? Like, oh, I'll just do it myself. I was like that. But then when I started to hire coaches, I've invested thousands and thousands of dollars in a very short amount of time for coaching. And it changed our entire business. And financially, it changed our life as well, because I was willing to invest, which I wasn't willing to do before. And I also wasn't willing to be coached. So you have to ask yourself, first of all, are you willing to be coached and make actual changes? Because some people aren't, and that's okay. And that's why we try to ask questions, and we try to we have a bit of an application process. Like, we don't want just everyone coming in and then I'm like fighting with them to make a change. But my point was that when I start working with clients, I say, if you make a small amount of change, you will see a small amount of results. And like that's just facts. You can decide how much change you're willing to take, or how many adjustments, because people don't even like the word change. So how many adjustments you're willing to take in your life. And if you're willing to take bigger steps or make bigger adjustments, you'll see bigger results. The problem I see is it's the expectations and managing that mindset. Like, for example, if you have someone coming into a program and they're willing to take a small amount, like very small steps, like, oh, maybe I'll just try this instead of jumping in full on with the meal plan. Maybe I'll just try this meal plan, or maybe I'll just try a workout instead of getting all the workouts in. That type of person is going to see a small amount of results, but the expectation, so your expectations have to meet your actions. So if you're only going to dabble, you're only going to see a small amount of results. And if you're okay with that, great, then be okay with it. But if you want to see a large number of results, like a massive change in your life, a result, you have to take a massive change. Like, so for me, for example, hopefully these examples help. Before, we used to get up at 4 a.m. before our little guy, and he's almost 3 now. Kind of crazy to even say that. But before he came around and didn't really change our life for the better. No, he's good at a lot of things. Sleeping's not one of them. So we stopped waking up at 4 a.m. so we could sleep a little bit longer. And that was probably three years ago. And I thought to myself, probably not. And I was super efficient, like waking up at 4 a.m. Like, you have a different mindset, like a different trigger. It's not easy, but your production changes. Like, if I'm going to wake up this early, I'm going to be super productive. Otherwise, I should just sleep. So because I was accepted into this competition, or whatever you want to call it, I said, what can I change? Because usually for me, if I'm up at 5, I'm not working till probably 6:30 once I get whatever I'm doing. Could be a workout, supplementation, breakfast. I'm not working for 6:30. And then 7 o'clock-ish, questions start coming in from clients. Our customers, we have to start putting up posts. And then 8 o'clock comes, and it's just chaos of everyone else's problems, including our employees, that you're trying to fix and trying to help with. So I have a very short amount of time to get any actual work done. So I said, if I started getting up at 4 and working till 7 or 8, that's 3 to 4 hours of consistent work, like consistent, uninterrupted, hard work. That's the brain work, that all that stuff you want to push till later that no one wants to do, but that actually drives your business and makes you successful. And so that's what I've been doing. I said, I'm gonna do this because I want massive results from this next 90 days that I've been, I don't know, blessed with, or whatever word you want to add in there. And it's the same for you guys. Like, we have people that come into a program and they're like, not a morning person, not waking up any earlier. And I'm like, what do you say to that? Like, great. Like, you're already limiting your results. Like, before you've even started, you've already like partially counting yourself out. Now, I'm not saying that you have to get up at 4 a.m. to start working out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you want different results, you have to take different actions. So maybe it's something different. I don't know. Maybe you're waking up a little bit earlier, or maybe you're trying a different food that you've never tried before, or maybe you try a different process or a different system that in the past you're like, nah, I'm not really interested or not willing to try that. So maybe you come in with a different mindset of, I'm going to take these action steps and figure out an answer or a way, regardless. And then you have to look at self-sabotage, right? I think it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday for me, and I was like, oh. Like it was like 10 after 4 on Wednesday, and I'm like, I think it was 13 weeks, and I was like, 12 more weeks of this. And then, you shake off the cobwebs, and you have the self-doubt, right? You have the self-doubt of, I'm not sure I can do this. But I think that's how you know something is worth it. Like, that's how you know the challenge is worth it, if there's some doubt there. If you're like, at least for me, like, if it's easy, like, for me, it's like, what's the point of doing it? If anyone could do it, if it's not challenging, if it's not going to push me, then I'm not really interested. This, and being involved in a community like this that I'm in, like, that takes you to the next level. And those of you that are just starting a fitness program and now you have a community and now you have the tools to find success. So that should push you to the next level and you should put in extra effort. Not like, oh, I'm in this program, I don't have to do any work anymore, right? It's not like that. Like, oh, they're doing the meal plans for me. I don't have to create a workout. Like, I'll just go through the motions. Like, that's not going to show you anything, right? It'd be the same thing from like, this would be such a wasted opportunity. Like, it almost makes me emotional thinking about it. Like, what a waste it would be for anyone. And I could probably guarantee that not all the 100 people are going to make it through this 90 days because it's intense. Like, they have trainings every day. They have more value in posts than I've ever seen. And like, they're here for a reason. Like, I'm talking about the coaches. It's not like it wasn't an accident that they've been so successful or they're on this platform that they are. And you think to yourself, it would be such a waste. And it's going to be a waste for the people that don't make it through and don't continue to put in the work because it's hard. It's hard work and it's consistent and there's no breaks. And it's the same thing when you're trying to exercise and you're trying to eat better and you're trying to fuel your body. Like, if you want to take a week off or a month off, or if you're really good from Monday to Friday and you want to take the weekend off, it's going to be really difficult for you to see consistent results. And that's just me being real. Like, I could sit here and say, join our program, only work out 3 times a week and you'll be good. Like, that's not truth. That's not going to help you out. You have to understand that there's going to be challenges. And if you're willing to work through them, then you'll see results. And if you're not, then it's going to be, then it's definitely going to be a challenge. I'm going to share my screen with you. My apologies. Those of you that are just listening, or not, I don't mean just listening, but only listening. But I'd like to share my screen for some of you. Those of you that are working with us, you know what this looks like. But we are, like I said earlier, we are going to work on, we're going to offer a 14-day challenge for those that need a little kickstart. So this is what our new platform, it's going to be in this platform. And you know what? Even our premium MAP members, a lot of them haven't even come over to check this out yet. So we're going to make we have 2 challenges, one for the public. They're both free, by the way. That's going to prick up some ears. But for our premium members, we're going to run a challenge in this group because we want to encourage them to come over and check this out. But at any rate, this is what the board looks like. So we have a welcome post. I'm going to do, each week I'm going to do a recap of all these questions. Great questions coming in. I'm not going to go through these, but this is like a community board, so you can come in and ask questions. My favorite part is the education area. We've worked many hours to put this together. So we have a start. So I just recorded a new video. This is a lot of new information. This is our group coaching calls, some of our past results. If you want to have a look at that, this is our MAP University. Rhonda and Colleen, those of you that are new, you guys should go through this. Like, some of your questions that you've already asked in the community, which you're more than welcome to ask, but they're here. They're in the MAP University area. And food substitutions, we talk about supplement. Colleen, you asked about supplements in particular. This question always comes up about eating out. Like, I know I don't want this to feel overwhelming. We actually kind of changed. Before we onboarded people, we would ask them to start watching videos. Like, start watching videos so you can get yourself set up. That seemed a bit overwhelming and too much for a lot of people. So we've changed that. And we said, you don't have to watch the onboarding videos. We'll be here for your support. This is more for the VIP option. But regardless, there's tons of great information here that you guys should all watch. And then this calendar here is awesome. I like the calendar because, let's just say, for example, we do our group coaching calls on Tuesday. You can click on this calendar, and here's the Zoom link, number 1. And then if you want to add it straight to your own personal calendar, done. Very slick, very smooth. Like, this platform is, in my opinion, way better than Facebook for learning. There's no reels, there's no ads, there's no stories. It's just, you just come here and you learn. Like, you should probably check out these are top pin posts. This third one is here, how to use Skool. Everyone should watch that. You come in and welcome yourself. and then you start learning. That's it. Like, it couldn't be simpler. So I don't have much else. I wanted to show that to you guys, and appreciate you guys jumping in here, especially with the last minute adjustment. Colleen says supplements always confuse me. So many to take, and I like to keep it simple. Yeah, I'll definitely look. So keep it simple. Like, I think that's a good generalization of what we do and what we believe in. Like, we're very consistent with taking a small amount, like a small handful of vitamins and minerals that I feel our bodies need, with the top quality. You see when I was in college, I took a whole tackle box full of supplements, and half of them were garbage because I didn't know any better. I didn't have the education, but I do now. So instead of, for us, like, our goal isn't to have as many supplements as possible. It's to have the best quality with the ones you actually need. So you're actually seeing your meal plan, Colleen, where we recommend, we have recommendations in your meal plan. And Rhonda, did you see where your meal plan is? Yeah. Okay, good. For anyone else, we're going to put that in the start here. We're going to change this up a bit. We're going to improve it. So I just filmed this new video. You can check that one out. But those of you that are newer, you'll scroll down here. And so for our VIP members, your meal plan is here. And then the next one, this automatically unlocks in 28 days. So in 28 days, after you sign up, you're going to get this one here. You're going to get your next block. And then we're going to add coupon codes. Those of you that got in on the early bird, just give us some time. We're ironing out all the details, but you're going to get your coupon code for your early bird in that meal plan. Everyone should get a different one, I believe. I got to work out some speed bumps or obstacles with Nick as we figure out. It's a new platform. I love it so far, though. Was there anything else? I wanted to mention something. Any questions? Okay. Thanks for joining live. If you guys are watching the replay on video or as a podcast, we appreciate that as well. Otherwise, we'll be around for a little bit. I guess for our members, just so you know, a newer thing I learned that it's good to take some time off once in a while. We have big shout out to Dorothy and actually Brianne. They're both running a half marathon in Banff at Melissa's this weekend. So we are off on the weekend, and we usually work till about 7 p.m. in the evening. So if you guys have questions, we do our best to get back to you within those business hours. But we have our community group as well, and you guys should be asking questions there, and then you should be answering questions as well. That'll be helpful. At any rate, if you want to jump in on the fitness challenge, let us know. Otherwise, those of you have already signed up, we're going to run something internally. So hang tight, and we'll get it all worked out. Sound good? Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.
Bye.